talk to me.
It's a serious one right here. Shit is real.
Staten Island boys is back.
God damn it.
New York. What the fuck is y'all talking about?
Turn that flame on.
Kneel, nigga, kneel when you see us, nigga. Let's go. Glass of gin for my jewelers. Too many Rugers, gems is 500 bam. Spam I swam through Bermuda. Switches got muzzles. Soon as rebuttals happen, we guzzle. Then everything get twisted like a puzzle. Cyber trucks fly up at the Lux, no doubt. News camera sees the moment. That's alligator tucks. I'm comfortable. Said it 2 more times. Use the ducks. Remove yourself quickly. Might flip you in the clubs. 800 troopers. They all in Coopers. Doopy shotguns and gooses. Ice rockin' boosters. Bitches call me Musa. Mansa, you're ruthless. Wow, he got so handsome. His cutie know his future. That's future. Flexing in the spectrum with Medusa. Versace jean jacket. Interior is blue cup. No hookah. Only big bags eating grouper. Scavengers running. Tell your managers the woo coming.
Bandanas, mad scanners, chain swinging, pulsating, plug click. Niggas do damage. Plus, niggas got them semi-autos when we out in Yemen. Buried all over the desert. Baby Mac 11s, clap reverends. Grab a big bag on the crap 7s. Past present, I'll be GO18 till I crash heaven. Monstrous bankrolls, Modelos and pesos. I send a few of you back to the essence and have a great show. My wrist game, call it gold caviar. Shootouts on the burgundy swing with gold handlebars. Clark's on flying through the Autobahn. The old deuce slick been plastered inside an Audemars. Catch a photo from the side like Hitchcock. The comments on the side of my neck is all big rocks. When I'm holding nothing moving, all gridlock. You wake, I might show up for Dolo with a big lock.
I've been official, but y'all don't think it's beneficial because my bottom line don't benefit you. The mission was a missile, I'm fitting to send you a missile. That's fitting to hit your fitted, that crown ain't fitting to fit you. Tripping, I'm fitting to trip you. Short vacation, I trip you. It's simple, and that go triple for anybody that's with you. If people know you ready, you already know it's an issue. You found out it's official, them people blowing them whistles. A ref's not a reference when people going against you. Your press is not impressive when people pressing to bench you. Effort, I'm mental, this method is not medicinal. In fact, the earth I'm water and air and fire, I'm elemental. That's right, I said it, now give me credit with my credentials. And instrumental with fear of God for my essentials. You get it? Plus a New York fitted to guard the temple. Them tracks you bumping, I come with something to pop your pimple. Guessing I'm proactive, too prolific for all you pro rappers who can't find an angle or protractor. They non-factors, haters, just agitators. These bars might take a shot and don't need a chaser to catch ya. Till Peter pay up, it's vital that Peter pay us. In order to get my cake up, I need a baker for rapture.
But still, how will I find them?
There is a man who can help you. They know that he's got the money, and there's enough there to make them rich for life.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyatt Live. This is going to be a short one. Today, March Madness started, and my Ohio State Buckeyes are on the air right now. I'm watching them here in the studio. So it's going to be a short one. I'm going to catch the second half for sure. Have to run to the post office as well. I had a package that came in, and I don't know why they didn't deliver it, but I got a notice today saying that I have to pick it up at the post office. I don't know why U.S. Postal Service wouldn't deliver it to the house, but they said that it's at the Postal Service waiting on me. So I got to get that before the day ends. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for the few and two that are here. I know you got a lot of other things you can be doing right now. You can be enjoying your weather. You can be enjoying your significant other. You can be doing a whole lot of other things and spending your little bit of short time with me today. But I do appreciate it. Trust me. I don't have much today. I do have something I need to get off my heart real fast. I have a situation where I don't want to make it sound like I'm a blaming or anything, but someone that I grew to know over the last 10 years passed away a couple weeks ago. I never brought it up to the podcast, and but Mazan Kemp passed away. I think, and a lot of people believe that Mazan Kemp is a legend. He worked with Aaron Pryor. He worked with a lot of high profile fighters in the city of Cincinnati. He's been around forever. He was with he was at the beginning of all of it, with some of the big fighters out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and he passed away a couple weeks ago. Mazan, believe it or not, was one of them guys that I got in my life late. He entered my life 10 years ago, and gave me a world of confidence. Gave Mazan Kemp gave me a world of confidence. Here's the problem right now. Um, I was not able to get to Cincinnati and get to his funeral because they made the announcement a couple days ago, and I didn't see the announcement. I didn't see it. And my buddy Steve called me this morning, and he called me. I was in the shower, and he was like, well, I didn't answer it. And I called him back after I got out the shower and got, my normal stuff going. And he said, hey, you going to Mazan's funeral today? He said, are you in town? And I'm like, I just had a feeling that it was going to do that. I was looking on social media trying to find things about when his funeral was, and it was dead. No pun intended. There was no talk about it. There was nothing going on. So I went to one of his relatives' page. Nothing was on that page. You know what I'm saying? And then I seen a post saying, "Hey, does anybody know where we can find the singer sing?" So now I'm thinking, okay, it's getting warm. You know what I mean? It's getting hot. They're starting to talk about things. They're looking for people. So I'm assuming that this funeral will be coming up soon. And there was no doubt in my mind. In the back portion of my mind, I was thinking, I hope I don't miss his funeral because I'm not hearing much talk about it. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes, to be honest with you, people just don't have funerals. They have a small family. Now, we was cool. I'm cool with the families, members, but I'm not his family. So I wanted to have that respect of if they just doing a small, thing at the house and it's just family. I don't want to intrude. I don't want to say, hey, can I come? I mean, Mazan, for me, in the short period of time we knew each other, 10 years, he in the industry, which is a very tough, cutthroat industry, the man gave me a lot of confidence. Now, I don't need it, you know what I'm saying? But I needed it. You can be sure of yourself and still second guess yourself. But Mazan would say things like, bro, listen, all you got to do, because you Wyatt, all you got to do is walk in that room and they'll have your respect. He said, you can walk in there and demand respect and get it, get what you're looking for. You're going to get the lion's portion of what you're looking for. When you got a man telling you that 40, 50 years in the boxing world, I listened. And he gave me a lot of confidence as far as being able to walk in and negotiate a few things or, put on shows. Mazan, here's the thing about Mazan. This is what's crazy. A lot of people don't know this, but Mazan was one of those guys where when I was doing shows out of town, when I was taking some of the up and coming fighters, and I don't mean amateurs, when we started with some of the professional fighters out of Real Deal Boxing Club, Mazan was part of that whole process. Mazan worked the corner of all those fighters. He was the cut man. He was a coach. He was a mentor to them young men. And he was very knowledgeable of the sport. I mean, Mazan he knew how to do things that a lot of people didn't know how to do in the sport, like meaning in the cut field. If a guy got cut or got hurt, he knew how to resuscitate him, bring him back to life, so to speak. Very knowledgeable in the sport. But here's the thing. Him and I had more fun when we were on the road. Okay. We had more fun out like in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of fun in Vegas, not partying, but he was the type of guy where, said very few words, but when he said something, it was funny or it was very smart. It was something that would teach you something or it would make you laugh. Those are the type of people that I really love to be around. Teachers and people that are fun, make me laugh. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he had his ways. He would always tell me, he would point out if it was time for me to make my moves and do what I needed to do or whatever, and I trusted him. I really trusted him, and that's a very hard thing for someone like me to to pass my trust on to people. I'm very cautious about how I open myself up to people and to things. Yeah, but he had my trust. I mean, he's the guy that didn't want anything. Like, we get on the road and he like, Mazan, we're going to dinner. Come on, man. Oh no, I packed my dinner. Huh? Yeah, he would pack his dinner from home. He reminded me, I hate to say this, God bless his heart. He reminded me of like a grandparent. He didn't want to be a burden. He didn't want to be an expense. He didn't want to be, he didn't want to be on your nerve. He didn't want to be that person that was getting on your nerve. What's up, Lisa? He didn't want to be that guy. And I always told him, like, look, bro, it's not, hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm sorry, because people are sending me. Thank you. Yeah, there's the information right there. Someone just excuse me. Let me back out of this real fast if you guys don't mind. I appreciate that, Brenda. Thank you. Because I didn't have anything. I didn't have any information, and a partner of mine called me this morning and asked me if I was going to the funeral, and I'm like, I knew that was going to happen. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. I appreciate that. He was a good guy, well known, super nice to me. I think I caught him at the tail end of his life. The last 10 years, he was at that stage where he was like, one thing I love about older people or senior citizens, is we have a lot in common. We tell the truth. I have a senior citizens. Okay, thank you, Brenda. I appreciate it, Queen. Thank you very much. My personality meets, it's on the same level as senior citizens, especially now at the age that I am now. I've always been a little bit more advanced. And I have they don't have a high tolerance for BS. And I'm on that same level. Mazan didn't have a high tolerance for BS, but he wouldn't argue with you. He would walk off. He would just not want to be bothered with you. And that was a good trait. I learned a lot from him in the boxing world, and as a human being, I learned a lot from him. He would really not hold his tongue back. I'm gonna say this, Mazan. I'm gonna say this out loud, okay, bro? Because I loved you. I had none but love for you, bro. But he would point me in a direction of where not to go. He knew all the snakes. He knew where the short grass and the tall grass was, and he would always tell me, because he would say, Wyatt, I don't want them to burn you. I don't want you to deal with those folks because they're going to try to burn you. And this is a guy never asked me for anything. I had to force him to go to dinner. He would listen. Y'all think I'm crazy. I got receipts. We would all want to go. Well, we would all go to dinner, Charlotte, Vegas, wherever we were, Minnesota. He worked the corner for Jamonte Clark. This guy was everywhere with us, and on major platforms, television and the whole nine. He would pack enough food to last the 3 days that we're in those cities, because he didn't want to be a burden. He didn't want to pay for a lot of stuff. He didn't want to go out to dinner. Them dinners can be expensive. He just didn't want to do it. He didn't want to spend $50-$60 for a plate of food. He didn't want to do it. But I would always offer, like, come on, Mazan, you part of the team. I got it. We cool. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? But he would always pack his own lunch, pack his own dinner. And the hotels always had free buffet. So, it came with the rule. That's all you got in them hotels, especially out in Vegas. You can eat breakfast food all day in Vegas. And most of the hotels we stayed in had some type of breakfast bar, so he would participate in that. But lunch and dinner, he would always have like his Vienna sausages and like little things that he would pack, his crackers. That was his big thing. Mazan had. He would always bring packs of crackers and eat crackers and peanut butter and shit. And I loved it because I grew up like that. That's why I said he like was a grandfather, grandparent. Like me and Mazan would sit in the hallway or downstairs in the hallway eating peanut butter crackers, bro. And it was so funny, man. He was a good guy. Shout out to Mazan Kemp. He's gonna be well missed. And just a nice guy, nice overall guy. And I think the boxing world is going to miss him. And he kind of got away from boxing at the end. He told me, Wyatt, I'll never come back unless you do something. And that meant a lot to me. He said, I get out of this stuff, man, is if you do something, because you're the only one. Now, this is out of his mouth. You're the only one that's honest and tell the truth and do it the right way. You're the only one. Now, y'all can take that for whatever you want to take it for, but I respect and I rock with somebody to have that much confidence in me, because he knew I was not a bullshitter. And he knew I was going to do what I say that whatever I tell you I'm going to do it. Okay. And there was never a boomerang moment. You know what I mean? We run into a lot of boomerang moments when we dealing with one another, when we dealing with each other. This is why it's tough to do business with people in our community. It's very tough. We do a lot of this talking until it's time to get to we talk all the way to the starter gate. And then when the dude put the gun up at the starter gate, on your march, get ready, get set. As soon as you get to the get set part, that's when everything goes south. Everybody go off and do something different. Things get different. Business collapse or whatever. All right. So let me get to a couple things real fast. I'm not here long. Today is March Madness, and I'm going to watch some of the March Madness stuff. Tomorrow, I'm going to do everything I can to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is our 6-year anniversary on Wyatt Live. I don't know if I'm proud of that or if I should be telling myself I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know how to look at that, to be honest with you. I'll let you know tomorrow. It's still on my brain. It's still on my head. I'm like, 6 years of doing this. And I mean, if that's not commitment, I don't know what commitment is. Okay, here and there, taking off a couple weeks or whatever. I don't think I've ever taken off more than 2 weeks because of my travels. I went to Africa for a couple weeks and we couldn't do the show. I've taken off on some personal and work leave type stuff here on Wyatt Live. But, overall, we've been here 6 years and we've been here solid. And I've dealt with a lot of good and a lot of bad. And I mean, we all have. And I just want to show my appreciation by telling everybody thank you for those that are here. Some are new. This might be your first year. 2026 actually might be your first year being here. I want to thank all the people that got here in 2020 and watched us go through we were just coming out of the COVID situation, and that's what started this. And I started with 4 people. And we went on and we just kept talking. I don't have a whole lot of people. I have more than it really shows. Yeah. I just look for consistency when I'm looking for things. If the consistency falls off, then I'm falling off. All right. I'm not looking for large numbers. I'm looking for a consistent number. I'm the type of individual that understands that you can lose more when there's more eyes on you. I would rather stay steady with a group of people. And then when something, like if I'm ready to make the platform huge or whatever, not only do I take the people with us, with me where we're going, but now I'm trained. See, I think I'm still training myself. I think I'm still learning a lot. I'm still learning how to do this. I'm not trained at this at all. This is a self-taught, self-serving type of situation right here on Wyatt Live. That's probably why I'm a little sporadic at times. I'm not trained at this. My personality is not what you see on this show. I'm a very quiet individual in the office, at home in my private time, I'm a very quiet person. I shock the world. I shock my loved ones, my wife, my children. I shocked the hell out of my mother when I started this platform, because I've never put my business and put my life out there like that. And it was shocking to some people. Let me just say this to you. I've probably lost more people in my life since I've started this than I've gained. And I'm talking about close people that were close to me. I'm not, and I don't mean we were the best of buddies. I'm just talking about we had a history. We're not really that close anymore. Either they found out something of how I was really thinking, or they found out that, some of the things I say, the shoe probably fit. It's hard to come on Wyatt Live platform and talk about issues in the community and talk about downfalls and what's going on and what's wrong and this and this and this and that, and it not touch somebody's probably part of the problem. They probably feel guilty of not taking care of their kids for all these years. They probably don't want to be talked about, even though I don't put a name on it. I don't, what woman wants to hear that single women can't raise men? Y'all don't want to hear that. I told you the truth, though. I stood on 10 toes on that circle, told you the truth. What I think happened is you start hearing it from other places. Heard it here first. I was the only one did out loud in the open forum. Everyone else, nobody else would say it. Now you got all these different little blogs and Facebook pages and YouTubes, and they all saying the same stuff. Shit I said 4 years ago. Now they making it, making it public. They are no problem. They standing on it now. They wasn't standing on it in real time. You feel me? It's the same thing now. I say some things that's critical, crucial. And what I do, and I'll be honest, I was talking to a good guy yesterday who watches the show. I was talking to him yesterday, and I was like, bro, I get a lot of blowback from people that always want to know about solutions. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of blowback. Oh, you hear what he said? I can't believe he supports this on this platform. All this old crazy shit. But those are the same folks that always want to hear something about solutions. They don't really want to hear about solutions. They want to talk about shit that's messy, dirty, dingy, and grimy. And then they want to indulge in it and have a great day. They love the negativity. They don't really want it. The thing that they see as negative is what the truth is. See, the truth can be negative. It's really the right thing to do is to put the truth out there, talk about the right things, because if you don't ever address it and talk about it, how are you ever going to cure it? You got to run tests to see if someone has cancer. You can't just start treating somebody for cancer, right? You got to run tests. So you got to talk about it. You got to, examine the person's body. You got to do some things in order to, get that person straight, get them back right. Well, I guess I'm that examination room. You come over here, you hear some of the things, I say some of the stuff that I say. It's not welcomed by a lot of people. Some people just come here because you want to argue, you want to be oppositional. And that's fine in your world. Me, I don't like shit like that. I mean, when I'm going hard and when I'm telling the truth, you're quiet. As soon as I stumble or fumble on a word, then you come into the chat or you say something. See, that shows personality. That just shows how people really are. They're quiet when shit is going down. But any little crack in the armor that they can find, then they want to try to stretch that armor open and try to find a weakness in you. That's all right. That's all good. It's all good. Those are the same people that holler, solutions. Where the solutions at? We need solutions. You don't want no fucking solutions. I am the solution. I've been telling y'all what the problem is. You see the problem, you know the problem. Then when I address the problem, you don't really want to have that conversation. You just want to be able to say, well, you think you know everything. Nah, I don't think I know everything. But you know what I do know? I know what the fuck I be talking about. I know everything about what I'm talking about. Feel me? Yeah. So let's move on. Shout out to Mazan Kemp and his family. Peace. I love you. You were only in my life for a short period of time, but it was a it was believe it or not, it was a very important time. You know, you came in my life, Mazan, at a very, very important time. And I needed you, and you never asked for anything. And I wish that I could have attended your funeral. I didn't have the information. Just letting you guys know that some of his family watches this program, his daughters, and I know them. And I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he used to tell you. I love older stories, you know, about back in 72, you know, we used to do this in the gym. I love them type of stories, yo. I love the old throwbacks. Y'all should know that. I'm a throwback storyteller myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna miss that about him. I really am. All right. So one thing I want to talk about real fast, and it's not gonna be that long. Um, Seeing that City Hall in Cincinnati, Ohio, I have to address this because of something I said in the past on this platform. And it's not necessarily a criticism, it's just a fact. When I mentioned to you a long time ago that when you vote city council members in, no matter what the party affiliation is, they're going to do the business for the city. The business is always going to come over the people. Always. And if it doesn't, now, some of y'all going, I got to take a sip for this. It's going to sound bad, but it's the truth. If you don't put the business over the people in the city, you got a bad city council member. The business comes first. And I told y'all that a long time ago. I said, okay, you got everything you want on your city council. Everybody, they all are Democrats. They all, you know, you all know them all and blah, 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 blah. They're your friends and this and this and this and that. I said, wait till it's time. Y'all know I didn't say this 3 or 4 times over the last 3 or 4 years. I said, wait till it's time for them to say when it comes down to putting business over the people, they're going to choose the business every time. And the reason why I say that, I'm confident in what I say because I know that that's always going to happen. It has to happen. You're not a leader if you are putting the people over the business, because it takes the business to keep the people comfortable. It takes the business for you to have all those social programs. It takes a tax base for people in the city of Cincinnati to be able to function all that shit that y'all want to give away for free. Somebody has to pay for it. I don't even know why that word free exists. You do know that somebody always has to pay. Free does not exist. It might be free for you, but somebody will always have to pay for it. What you get for free, somebody else is paying for it. So free doesn't exist, all right? Let me explain what I mean when I say they always gonna put the business over the people. In the city of Cincinnati, I believe they had a split vote here recently, probably yesterday. And the vote was like 5-4 on $8 million to a venue. All right, what is it? Some type of music farmer. I think it's called the Farmer Music Venue or something like that. I'm just going off of memory. I pulled the article up, but I don't have it pulled up right now. Stephen Speed says, where does city council keep finding this money? I'll go over that. I promise you. I'll try to get to it as close, as much as I can, because I'm going to be out of here shortly. But I'll go over that, Stephen. I promise you. You got people in the city that are yelling, we need this. That $8 million could have went towards homelessness, could have went towards affordable housing, could have been about this, could have been about that. Well, did the people you voted for run on those issues? Can you honestly hold them accountable for not doing what you asked them to, what they said they were going to do? They asked you what you wanted when they were running for council, and they're reneging on their commitment. They're reneging on what they told you to do, what they were going to do for you. Did they tell you that I'm going to push for affordable housing? This is what I'm going to do. Did they tell you that? Or did you just say, okay, this is our group. This is the slate. We're going to vote for them because they are Democrat and they always going to look out for the people. Because y'all know, we've had that conversation on the show. We think that Democrats care more about the people. Now, this is not a snug on the Democrats because I believe that to be true. I believe the Democrat politicians sell people first, big business second, until they get in office. Then it's big business, then people. Because they're either being deceptive on purpose, or they learn later that, damn, without business base, without tax base, we don't have enough money to support all the shit that we call free social services and all of that. That stuff has to be paid from somebody. You either get it from your corporate base, which you have to support as a city council person. You have to support your corporate base because they pay the majority of the taxes. Y'all might not know that because you've been convinced, hate rich people, big business bad. If you're ignorant on how those things function, then it's easy to be taught the wrong thing. But here's the thing. If you don't have a tax base of big business in your city, then who's going to pay for all the free stuff? Who's next in line once the big money leaves? The person, the public, us. So now your property taxes go up, your sales taxes go up, all your personal taxes go up. They go up. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why when you're in city council, and here's the thing, probably thinking like, well, 5-4, okay, it was mixed up. It was good. That's good. I'm going to say this, probably the only one that's going to say this. I think the ones that voted against that $8 million situation and come forward and talk about we could be doing $8 million towards homeless and all that. I think if a city council doing that, they perping. I think they in a position where they doing exactly what they did when that brawl went down in the city of Cincinnati. They so trying to be pro-black that they sound ridiculous to me, because I understand that an $8 million investment in the city, in a city for a venue is a small price to pay for a long time investment, a lifetime investment. $8 million is not a lot of money. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say this to you. If you, from my understanding, there's a dollar deficit in the city of Cincinnati. How do you pull yourself out of deficit? Building liability? That doesn't make any sense. If you're $35 million in the hole, how do you make that money back to be whole? You don't build liability. How much money does a subsidized housing or low income housing building, how much does it cost to build that? See what I'm saying? And then how much do you make income wise once you build it? So you just gonna start using all your little extra funds outside of your normal budget to start building liabilities? That doesn't make any sense. This is why you have to have business people in certain spaces. And that's why you had some people who are on council who voted the right way. $8 million is not a lot of money in an investment to something that's going to bring a tax base that is now an asset to your city. It won't take them long to make $8 million back. You can make $8 million back tax base in a year or two. You got a lifetime of building money. It's just some people want everything they just want to be against everything, that their arguments don't even make sense. If I can invest $8 million of my own money into the city of Cincinnati, knowing that I'm going to have a lifetime of tax base off of it, bringing things, you got to understand, it's not just that building that brings a tax base. They're building something that's going to bring entertainment, going to bring other tax revenue to all different areas, to the surrounding area. They're not just going to make tax money off of the building. Okay, they made $200,000 this weekend on a concert. We're going to get our cut, and we're going to get $20,000 of it as a city. Yeah, you're going to get $20,000 off that building. Okay, off that building's presence and what they brought into that venue, off the popcorn, whatever. But look at all the hotel revenue you make. Look at all of the hotel, look at all the restaurant, look at all the other taxable income that you make by bringing in something. That was a great move, because now your city is not just sitting with a bunch of dormant buildings, and you're looking for things that draw in things where in one weekend somebody could come in and be a performer at that, and then they're going to go spend money at the casino, they're going to spend money at the restaurants, they're going to spread their money around. This is how a city becomes vibrant. And when y'all talking all that, we need affordable housing. Well, not only does it open up tax base, when you do stuff like that, you also open up job opportunity. Job opportunity. The more money you make, the better living you can have. The more places that you open up, the more venues you open up, the more assets you open up, the more opportunity you give to your. I don't understand. Stephen Speed says we have several music venues. So does every other city. Bro, I hate to say this, man, because Cincinnati's my hometown and I love you to death, but downtown Cleveland and the Flats, they have the arts. They have everything down there, bro. I was in Cleveland for the Bengals opener up in Cleveland. Y'all remember that? There was so much to do. I'm like, I couldn't pick it. I didn't know what to do that weekend of a Bengals game up in Cleveland. There was so much to do that night. They had the casino down the street. They had the arts. They had they had the plays and all that going on that same weekend. They had a lot going on. And there was more than one play. There was a concert down there. They had the guy who did the halftime singing in the Bengal game. He had a concert down on the Strip in the Flats. All the bars was open. They got a bowling alley downtown. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, there's so much to do. So no, you can never have too much to do. You can never have too many venues. This is how you build your tax base. It takes the burden off your residents. The more people and the more money that your city is generating, the less money they have to ask for of their people. We can't even get in Cincinnati. We can't even get an NCAA tournament game. We couldn't get one. Think about, has it ever been a time in Cincinnati where we could host NCAA? Even when we were in the top 10, even when we were one Kenyon Martin ankle breaking away from winning a national championship, we weren't suitable back then to be able to host the NCAA tournament game. I think the closest was in the 80s. When it was vibrant, when you had a few of the Bengals had nightclubs downtown, and it was kind of jumping downtown, a lot going on. That's lack of leadership when your city fall off. And you can't say, well, things change, everything moved to the suburbs. Well, it ain't. I mean, there's other cities to look at, to use as an example of what I'm saying to be true. But yeah, your $35 million deficit. And then here's the other thing. You have a city council member come on and talk to you guys and kind of shits on the whole idea, and he does the same old normal shit. Well, we could be putting that money into other things. You're bad mouthing somebody that's coming into your city that's bringing money. That's bringing money. It's costing you $8 million. That's an investment. That's an investment. Why would you see? This is what's wrong with your leadership. Your leadership are managers. They too busy trying to keep you happy. They want you to believe that they're on the side of. They know that it only take 2 or 3 of them, maybe 4, and we don't draw on a thin line at that 4. We really want this shit to go through, but we gotta be careful. And then they stand on we should be putting that money into anything else. Then you start going in on the company that's coming, talking about what they should be doing and how they should be doing it and this and this and that. That's how you lose things. That's how you lose people. You play to an audience that don't understand. And then when you start bad mouthing those companies and those people that come around, listen, man, Y'all heard the old saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Those are the type of people that bite the hand and get that feed them. They so busy trying to play to their base. They're so busy trying to play to their base that they'll talk themselves right out of a great deal. Now you tell me how long you think it'll take them to recover $8 million. That's not a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of money to an individual, but it's not a lot of money in business. Not when you have 25, 30, 45, 50 years of tax revenue coming in off of that. Come on, be real, bro. It's going to take them every bit of maybe 2, maximum 3 years to recover that. How do you get out of a $35 million deficit? How do you do it? The only people that think about buying liabilities are broke people. That's why you broke, because you spend money on liabilities and you don't put your money in assets. It has nothing to do with the man's foot on your neck. It don't have anything to do with somebody that held you down. It's just knowledge of knowing what to do when you got a little extra, knowing how to pull yourself out of the hole. You know, you don't have $50 in your bank account and then you go off to freaking Jeff Ruby's with your last $50. You don't do that. You start cutting back a little bit. You start investing in foods that stretch. And that's what you have to do as a city. If you have a $35 million deficit, you start putting money into things that are going to bring money. You buy assets, you invest in assets. How much is it costing them to build the building? How much is it costing them to do any? It's $8 million investment. I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing. I would have voted yes for it. And that's me without even knowing all of the books. I don't know what the average revenue of a venue like that would bring in on a tax base. I really don't know. I don't need to know. I know $8 million is not a lot of money for something like that. Darnell 50, that you should, you know, you can't take $50 in no damn Jeff Ruby's. Not your last. If you balling on a budget, you better be careful. The city of Cincinnati is on a budget. They're trying to dig themselves out of a $35 million deficit. I think someone put in the screen about the convention center. I mean, some things, if you don't do them, you do look incompetent. You look totally incompetent if you don't do some things. Some things, even bad management do right because they're forced to do things right. That Duke Energy Center, which is called something different now, that's 10 years late. That's 10 years late. How do you get to 2020? Never mind. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know I can be a little brutal on my own city sometime. I just know the difference between managers and leaders. And then when you have some of your so-called leaders come in, I know they managers, but when I'm gonna call them your leader, when your leaders come in and try to convince you that an asset is a bad thing, we should put affordable housing up before we buy or invest in an asset. That's bullshit to me. I don't know another way to say it. I don't know another way to say it. I see that's once again, remember what I told you, how they went to the podium and they had the information about the actual photos, the videos that were going to be used in that prosecution of those people that was in that brawl. That's it. Same thing. Same thing. Hold on one second. Jack said they get millions in interest from railroad money in bank. I heard on Lincoln's show. Sure they are. 3%. 3 to 4% is what they're getting on the interest. And they're putting that 3 or 4% into the general fund. I read that on Cincinnati.com. So you could be making anywhere from 3-4 million, maybe $5 million a month going into the general fund, just letting the money bank up. We had a conversation about that, I think, last week or the week before, right here on the show. Black Lion, what's up, brother? He said, Wyatt, I think they should be investing in these homeless people and get them housing and jobs and return on their taxes they're paying. Yeah, I do too. But you can't shut down the business that they're doing. They do invest in that. They have programs. They may not be the most highlighted programs, but to sit back and think that the city of Cincinnati does not have a homeless, don't put money behind homelessness. That's I don't know what city, especially a Democratic ran city, that doesn't make any sense. I know for a fact they have money going towards the homeless problem. I know for a fact that they do. I've heard of different programs that have, housing and food. They got a ton of programs. That's one of my problems that I have with how things are ran. There's too many damn programs. I know that sounds brutal, but hear me out, please, y'all. Hear me out. Have you heard about what's going on in New York? Since we talking about homeless and government giving money, or the city, or politicians giving money or voting for policies that give money to the homeless. Have you guys heard the latest about how much homelessness is costing the city of New York? Let's go to it real fast. Let's talk about it for a hot second before I move on. Some people probably know this because they probably read the story as well, and they watched something on television or whatever. But I guess I can say by survey. Let's do a survey. By survey, let me ask you, how much money do you think New York City invest in their homeless population per pupil, per person? How much do you think it's averaging them per person? I'd love to hear that number for Cincinnati, but let's just go to New York because I know that story. I know the numbers. How much do you think they spend per one homeless person in the city? Put a number in the screen if you don't mind. Darnell Hunter says, I have no idea. You're going to be shocked. I appreciate the feedback, the engagement. Catherine Stone says 50K. Jack says 65K. Come on, give me a couple more people. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Jack. Thanks for engaging with us. Somebody put it in the screen. Go ahead and Google it. I know you don't. Some people won't give an opinion. Thanks, Bless. They want to Google it and be absolute on point right. Just guess. Just use your own mind. Guess one time. Sean D. Nutter, what's up, bro? Haven't seen you in that gym. Don't make me. Don't make me. Don't make me try to seek out you and the wifey. I ain't seen no pictures. Mama Birch said 80K. Crystal said, I'm not sure. Princess Flower says 30. Sabrina Calloway, thanks, Queen, all of you. Sabrina Calloway says 20K. Troy on YouTube says a lot. Brenda Burt, she says 100K. Sean D. Nutter says 75. I'll take one more before I tell you the answer. And we do have a closest person. After this next one, I'll tell you who it was. And I'm not just saying this because I got love for him. I got love for everybody on here. Okay, Stephen Speed said 40K. You're going to lose your mind when you hear this. Okay, Crystal Hawkins says guessing 20,000. That's a good guess. That's close. Nah, it's not close. I'm sorry, Crystal. But good guess. Thank you for engaging. You're going to lose your socks. Michelle Hardy, thank you. She says over 80K I saw. Terry Anderson says very little. All right. The answer is $81,000. Mama Birch was the closest. Michelle Hardy says she's seen it, so that's not a fair. Damn, DH said 250K per person. DeAndre Crosby said, Mama Birch cheated. It's not a laughable moment. I'm having fun on here with you all's comments. But listen, $81,000 per year per homeless person. Now, y'all tell me who they spending $81,000. These are programs financed by the government or supported by the government. If you don't believe me, look it up. This is a fact. $81,000. In California is even worse. $81,000 a year You could just give a person who's homeless $81,000 a year and they won't be homeless anymore. They'll be eating. They'll live better than people that get up and go to work every day. There's a lot of people that don't make $81,000 a year. So explain to me how the city of New York is averaging the cost of $81,000 per homeless person in the city. How can you explain that? And how does homelessness not go anywhere? Come on, y'all. You're starting to see my old philosophy of these programs are full of shit. These programs are top heavy. These programs don't really give a shit about the people. Now, this same group of people who run this program that's averaging $81,000 per person, homeless person in the city of New York, that person makes $800,000 a year salary, the CEO. Black Lion said, is that 81,000 including administration fees? That's exactly what's making it cost 81,000. See, that's what I'm saying. There are people that get paid off of people's misery, off of people's failures. So why, if I can make $800,000 keeping the population broke, homeless, why would I support it? Why would I support trying to keep people off of, out of the streets, living in the streets? Why would I do that? Why would I look for a solution when I'm making damn near $1 million a year with my program, helping people helping people basically stay homeless? Somebody explain it. Make it make sense. We might need the heavy hitters coming in today to make it make sense. Try to convince me, because y'all do understand that when you get into these nonprofit organizations, when they get these grants and government funded money, they get this government money. The issue is only getting 10% of the money. Yeah, they apply 10% of the money towards the problem, 90% of the money towards the administration and keeping it going and making it happen, and salaries and car allowances and gas allowances and vacations and shit like that, or bonuses and stuff like that. Yeah, these are the same people. Remember, I just told you last week when I was like, man, I can't stand people that act like they helping somebody, but they really benefiting off somebody's pain and misery and their downfall. They get paid off of that shit, but then they walk around all high and mighty like they doing something for the people. It's the shit I be talking about. Go look at California. It's worse. They done spent billions of dollars on homelessness, and homelessness ain't went nowhere. You could have built a whole compound and made everything free. You could have had a whole brigade, a whole army base, and let the homeless live there and been able to and spend less money. But the money is the hustle. There's a hustle there. That's the hustle. And a lot of y'all vote for those policies that keep those hustles around. You just don't know it. You so caught up, they got you so emotionally attached that you thinking it's for the people. From the motherfucking people. How does it cost $81,000 a year to house a homeless person who's living on the street? Man, now $81,000, I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe in Cincinnati that's a decent living. The city of New York is not. Okay, that's not a lot of money in the city of New York, but that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money regardless of where you are in the world. It's a lot of money. But none of these homeless people are living in high-rise penthouses, driving nice cars. No, Tanika, that's not necessarily true. Now, there are some people that are mentally ill and they don't want the help of anybody, but I bet you there's somebody that got a folder on them and collecting some of that money. I don't think that homelessness will always be a thing. I don't think that that's the case. I think that there could be a better use of the money where homelessness, I think Tanika's right. Let me just say this. Homelessness will probably always be here because of the mental illness problem that we have in the country. There's people that have places that they could go, drop-in centers and all of that. But the mental illness, they don't want to be around people. They think everybody's against them. They think someone's going to attack them, things of that nature. But there are people in this country that are homeless and they want a home. They need a home, and they want to be in a home. They don't care if it's an efficiency. They hit a slap of hard times. It's been rough. And they'll take an efficient. They're not picky. They're not choosy. None of that. I'm not talking about those people. Homelessness can be contained. It can be contained. How do you do that? I don't know if y'all remember this. I ran into it one time. Never the homelessness thing, but I ran into working with that homeless base one time in Cincinnati. Do you guys remember? Yeah, addiction as well. Thank you, Preston. That's true. Remember a few years ago back in Cincinnati, there was an issue where they were pushing people from under the bridge. They were pushing the homeless people, telling them they couldn't sleep under the bridges because it was dangerous. It was dangerous. It was a bad look for the administration in the city of Cincinnati, telling homeless people where they could sleep and where they couldn't sleep. But it was dangerous. Sleeping under a bridge where cars could have accidents. It's a dangerous spot down by the stadium. Now, let me explain something to you. When they did that, and I don't know the full just to how that happened or why it happened, but when they did do that, they all migrated from down under the bridges and moved into the downtown Cincinnati area. And they were all sleeping right outside the casino. DH, you remember that? That's when I got my opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to get involved. I got involved. Let me tell you why I got involved, because some of y'all know this. They all pitched up tents. They all were living living right outside in that right there on Reading Road, that long strip of grass outside of Reading Road, right outside the casino. And on this side of Reading Road, they're sleeping right outside my office. 200 people. Crystal Hawkins, you remember that? And I said, I can't have this. I was like, whoa, there's kids out here. There's people, I could see a lot of I could see a lot of dope fiends sleeping in, what they call sleeping bags, and they had tents and they pitched them all up. Now, the casino can't have that. Nobody's going to come in here from Nebraska and go to a conference in the city of Cincinnati and then say, well, I'm going to go blow a few $100s over at the casino, and they got to walk through a homeless camp. They can't have that. Y'all remember that happened. This is real life, real time. So what I did, there was a guy that was running. It was a white dude, and I think he got in a little bit of trouble with the Democratic Party because I think he ran as a Democrat. I don't know if he ran for mayor or city council. I don't remember his name. Somebody can put it in the screen. And he was faking like he was endorsed by the Democratic Party. Well, I knew that guy. I don't know his name, but I knew him as being somewhat of a street activist for homeless people and stuff like that. He would always be out there with his daughter. He was bringing water to him. Now, no cameras are on. See, I thought the guy had a generous heart. I think the Democratic Party didn't really rock with him for whatever reasons they had with the man. But I watched him night after night. I've been watching him on TV deal with the homeless population in the city of Cincinnati. And I thought he was a good dude. I still to this day think he's a good dude. He never done anything that was deceptive to me. When the cameras wasn't there, he was still there. And I went out there and seen him. I was like, I know you from somebody. He said, yeah, my name is such and such. I don't remember him. It's been years ago. And I said, well, I'll tell you. Okay, thank you, Stephen. Brian Gary. Now that you say that name, of course it rings, I asked him his name, and he obviously said Brian Gary. And I'm like, okay. I said, what can I do to help? He said, well, we can use some food. Nobody's giving us any food for these guys or anything. I think they're trying to weed them out. You know what I mean? They're trying to starve. I can't have that. I don't really want them all like this, man. But I see kids out here living with their parents in these tents. see drug activity. I see not drug activity, but I see drug. Y'all know what them heroin addicts look like on the streets. They walk around. You know a drug addict when you see them on the street. Okay. And he said, and I invited him and his daughter into my office. Now, y'all know this was, I wouldn't come in. Okay, I'm not that guy. Y'all know I've been in many situations where the news was present and they want to interview us. And I don't do interviews with the news. I don't talk about what I give and how I participate. I just don't do it. I don't want to be one of those people who I talk about. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want that profile shit on the news. You've never seen me on the news, knock on wood, about what we do. So the Brian guy came to my office. We sat down in the office for a minute and talked. And as he's talking to me, I'm looking out the window and I see more and more people coming. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I asked him, what can we do? What can I do? He said, we need food. I said, all right, we'll go get food. We'll go get food. I called. Now I had a buddy who was the GM at the Newport McDonald's over in Newport, Kentucky, which is probably the closest McDonald's to downtown Cincinnati. My buddy was running that location. The owner of that location sold him that location too. He took over that location few years ago. I called McDonald's. I called my buddy over there, and I asked him, "Can I get few burgers and stuff like that, and I'll come get them or whatever, but I need it because we got kids out here." And McDonald's, my boy, he hooked me up. Whatever I bought, he would give free. So for every 100 hamburgers that I bought, he gave me 100 hamburgers. See what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I didn't ask for it. He just did it. And we fed them for 6 nights. And I don't think the city liked that. Matter of fact, I didn't get a letter, but I got a verbal notice not to. And this is the second time that happened, y'all. Remember, we were passing out sandwiches at the church on Liberty, and we would go every Wednesday at 12:30 constantly for a whole year. And then they tell me I don't have a license to distribute food. Now that's coming from people that you see, they want to control homelessness. They want to control how people are fed. I just don't talk about stuff like this. I understand it is a controlled environment. Maybe they're regulating it in some kind of way because I could be a mad scientist. Maybe I'm putting fentanyl in a bologna sandwich or some shit like that. I don't know. But I used to pull up, my partner Sean. Y'all know Sean Coleman. That's my best friend in my life. We grew up from the sandbox together. Some of y'all know him. Every Wednesday, we would go down to the church over on Liberty. And they would run, you know what I'm saying? And we would pass out sandwiches. And, well, not just sandwiches, but bags, a lunch bag. It had a piece of fruit in it, had a sandwich, and we had those little jug juices. So, and they told us we couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't the church that said that. The city, the people. I was verbally told that I can't pass out food. Now, I've seen it go on and on and on from other people, and it was never, I don't, they did it for Thanksgiving. They did it I don't know, because we were doing it on a steady and regular basis, that was considered something other than maybe like a holiday dinner or something. I don't know. But for some odd reason, they told us that we couldn't do it anymore. And I wondered if the complaint came from the church. I thought that, and then they had nothing to do with that. The church was not complaining that the homeless people were being fed. They weren't complaining about that. So it always made me wonder, and I've always had this cynical way of looking at those programs, because I think that the homeless has to be. I think it's a business, y'all. I don't know any other way to tell you that. If New York is spending $81,000 a month I'm sorry, 81,000, excuse me, $81,000 a year per homeless person. That's a business for someone. Your CEO is making $800,000. Show me where you spent $81,000 on a homeless person. Show me. They're living on the street. They're not living in the high rise somewhere. You're not paying $400 a month rent for some small efficiency somewhere. You're not doing that. You're dropping off a few little lunch bags. It probably averaged me about $1,200 a week to do that. So I know it's higher in New York. So explain to me how that's helping people. It's enabling people. It's a program. It's a real program. But when you top heavy, this is why. Let's just keep it real. It's a business. Poverty is a business for people. Ignorance, poverty, poor educated is a business. And the more people that you can trap into these things, the longer the business will last. It's almost like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's themselves. Start putting out new merchandise with better taste, keep them hooked. That's how you keep them hooked. I don't care what it is. Repeat business. Repeat business. Look it up. Tanika says, can you cite your source? On which part? You can Google it if you're talking about the $81,000 a year for the homeless. Mama Birch, where did you get it from? Google it. You can look it up. Do New York and do LA. Ask them what's the average cost that the city is paying in its homeless shelters or homeless programs. Just look it up. I said it. Now prove me wrong. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I made it up. And I don't know what Cincinnati's is. It's nowhere near that. I would probably say $15,000, $10,000, $10,000 to $15,000 in a city like Cincinnati. See what I'm saying? And it's probably more than that because there's a lot of programs. And you got to look at it like this. There's a budget for it. So the city may have, I'm just going to use round numbers for argument's sake. This is how you get to those numbers. The city might allocate $1 million a month. Okay. And then out of that $1 million, there may be 10 programs that filter out of that money, that get their funding out of that $1 million. See what I'm saying? It's not like the city is just kind of giving everybody this, each homeless person. The city's not involved. They use the nonprofit organizations to handle that business. Tanika said 81,000. You don't tell Twin to Google it. Laugh out loud. Don't have to tell Twin. Twin ain't gonna do that. Twin, you gotta let him say what he gonna say. If I disagree, I tell him what it is, and then he gonna stop. What do you always call it? Stop faking it. Stop faking the funk, bro. And it doesn't matter what I say. I'm always faking the funk. Black Lion says, wait a minute, hold on, I missed one. Jerica Vaughn says, our agency pays rent for 2 years and deposit to prevent chronic homelessness. However, when other unaddressed issues are present, oh shit, I lost it. Hold on. Recidivism is definite. Yeah. Yeah, I buy that. I think, see how there's different programs for different things. So if I'm just using round numbers, I'll use the $1 million a month again. That's not a far-fetched number. $1 million a month for homelessness. Go look at what the state of California is doing. That number is real short. Like $1 million, that's nothing. They're spending billions of dollars a year, and they have the worst homeless program or homeless population. There's a lot of reasons for that. Warm states are always going to have the bigger problem. Not to mention that California is one of the largest states. There's some reasons that make sense that they have the worst. because it's an all year round better weather situation. They don't have to sleep in the cold. You know, people get on trains and all, they do everything they can to get to California and be homeless. California incentivized homelessness. California was giving people, paying people cell phone, giving them some money. California. Oh, Vernon, don't tell me that, bro. We lost. Damn. And I ain't even watching. Buckeyes go down to TCU. The problem with the Buckeyes, bro, let me just say this one thing to you, V. We don't have a big man. That big man is soft as cotton. He don't have hands. He don't know how to pivot. He's just not, he's a big dude, but he don't play big. He's soft. He's not strong. And no team is going to win without an inside presence and a strong big man. I don't care what your guard's doing. Vernon also says Hawaii has a large homeless population. They do. A lot of, well, you know, Florida does too. Warm states are going to have, because people gravitate there. People go there knowing that, yeah, it's going to cost me more money, but at least I'm going to be in the streets comfortable. If I can say that, that might sound a little insensitive, but they don't want 20-degree weather. They don't want 2 below. They don't want that. So they'll go to Florida. They'll go to California. They'll go to Texas, and they'll live the way they live. But nobody incentivizes homeless like California does. California's program is catered to be abused. Like, they make so much money off their homeless people, is ridiculous. They put them on an allowance. They give them, they provide them needles. They incentivize, and they call themselves saving these folks by providing needles and, you know, things of that nature. They keeping them safe. And I don't know if I'll necessarily buy that. Sometimes I think you contribute to the problem. And I'm wondering what that CEO of that company makes, who's handling all that homelessness out in California. There's several. It's not just one. There's several people that run these programs. And they're waiting for the kids not to graduate from school. They're waiting for the parents to stay dumb and not educate their kids, because there comes the new cycle of people that are going to be homeless in the next few years, because that's just how the system works. It's a machine. It works that way. Vernon says they fought hard in the second half. They were losing by 15 points at halftime. They even went up by, about 3 points in the second half, just couldn't hold the lead. Yeah. They weren't built for a championship this year, and they're not going to be built for a championship next year. Ohio State's not a basketball team by no means. Blessed over on YouTube says that's how they keep them in the system. That's how they keep them in all the systems, brother. That's how they keep them in all the systems. And that's exactly when you have politicians, local, federal, state, whatever, when you start hearing them say things like, we need to put that $8 million into the homeless people and stuff like that, that's a manager. That's not a leader. Burning the candle from both ends. I'm going to say, see, what happens is this. Some of them council people would rather have a problem with their colleagues. That's an easy fix. They don't want a problem with the public, especially the black ones. The black ones don't want to make it look like, and they'll even say it. Why should we start giving money? This is the common thing that they do. Why should we continue to give money to the rich and leave our poor out here? That doesn't make any sense. It sounds good. It sounds like he care, she care. It sounds like that. But the truth of the matter is, in order to get people out of poverty, you must provide jobs. In order to get people out of poverty, you must incentivize. In order to get your city out of a deficit, you must invest into the city. How do you pay your bills? By buying and investing in liabilities. That's an oxymoron. That just doesn't make any sense. In order to make your deficit go away, you have to reinvest in your city. It only makes sense. And all this shit about we need to get this for the housing, that 8 million could have went there and it could have did that and blah, blah, blah. All that old shit, bro. Listen, man, a real politician, you won't like what he'll say about that. Because I told y'all years ago, they always gonna choose the business. Now you got these different ones that's made, knowing that the shit gonna pass. It only take a couple of them to play to the crowd, to the constituents. Yeah, that's a long-term play. Oh, he always cared for the people. Let's vote him mayor. She always cared for the people. Let's go vote her mayor. That's bullshit. When you got a slate that'll give you a 5-4, the 4 no, it only take 4 of us, and the shit gonna go the way it's supposed to go. Just being honest with you. You can fool some, but you can't fool us all. It doesn't even make sense that you would have a problem with an $8 million investment on a lifetime tax base. That doesn't, your argument makes absolutely no sense if you don't think that an $8 million investment in a venue that is going to generate you a lifetime of revenue, that's a lot of money. They're not asking you to pay $80 million out of your budget. To invest more money than your deficit would be absolutely ridiculous. They're asking you to invest a fraction of your deficit that is going to bring you probably minimum $800 to $1 million a year in revenue, tax revenue. So how long is it going to take you? How long is it going to take you to get your $8 million back? And that's a real low number. I'm talking about just off that venue alone. Look at all the tax money you're going to make on the stuff that's coming in. Your casino money going to go up. The revenue on your tax base of your casinos, the hotel revenue, your restaurant revenue. It's just so much more that can come in. Your taxis, all that stuff. Ubers, all of that stuff. When you bring in venues, you bring in money. The reason why the downtown Cincinnati looks the way it does, and I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, the reason why it looks the way it does is because they don't reinvest. And I know why they don't reinvest. And the reason why they don't is because you got too many activists. You got too many people that say shit. What about the homeless? What about the this and this and that? And then your leadership, which are really managers, are soft on that. I'm just the only one that's going to tell you the truth. They're soft on it. They're too busy trying to keep their people happy. These are the same ones that'll never say parents need to get their kids, because them the same politicians that's soft, and they the same ones that don't want to be unliked by the voters. Nobody. It makes sense. Who would want to be unliked by voters? I ain't vote for him, boy. He talking about sending me to jail because my kid out here acting stupid. Don't make sense, right? So what does it say about a leader that would be that soft? What does it say? You're not really a leader, bro. Manage the city. Just manage it. Keep it McDonald's in your downtown. Keep all the little shit. Here's what trips me out. When Cincinnati is on a top 10 list of nice places to be and more things to do, and then the same people that say there ain't nothing to do in the city, there ain't nothing that you like to do. There's plenty to do. You just set in your ways. You want to go to the top club or some old bullshit club when there's the arts down there. There's a lot to do in the city of Cincinnati. It's just not what you want to do. So, yeah, I actually heard an explanation of, and it sounds, and I'm just going to be honest with you. This is not a favorable thing, and I'm probably getting my old age of I can't tolerate ignorance anymore. When I hear leaders come in and yell to the crowd what the crowd want to hear, you're not a leader to me. You're not a leader to me. And I'm sorry to say that, because some of y'all love those folks, but the truth of the matter is, in order to dig yourself out of a deficit, you have to invest. You don't invest in liabilities. I seen a little clip the other day. A guy just filed bankruptcy. As soon as he filed bankruptcy, he went and got what he thought was this slick ass move. He filed bankruptcy personally, okay? And then he went and got, I don't know if he got a VIN number. I don't know what he did. I don't know if how he turned into a corporation or whatever. He said, now I'm a company. So I'm going to start putting things in my company name. I'm going to start using my company credit. So you filed bankruptcy a week ago and you're trying to get business credit with an unestablished business. And you think that's a play? Like you really think that shit gonna work? So he calls a dealership. He's trying to get a 2026 Hummer for his business. This is how people think. People, I don't know if somebody convinced him, told him, or lied to him and said, this is what I did. You know what I'm saying? But it don't work like that. Things that sound too good to be true usually aren't gonna happen. Usually it's just not gonna happen. And unfortunately, a lot of us believe the too good to be true. A lot of us tend to believe a lot of the shit that politicians tell us, or we believe what our mothers told us, and we follow that. Bless says, Wyatt, what do you think about those who are buying homes in neighborhoods and renting them out to group homes for mentally ill and addicted? Well, that's another thing that I've seen. I've seen some fraud in that. I've seen some people get funding from the state to open up a group home, pay the house off, and not do the group home anymore. And I'm not trying to step on any toes because I'm not sure if that's just happened in broad daylight here a week ago. So I don't want to speak too much on it, but I've seen this play before. I used to see it in New Orleans. It's the same thing that's going on right now. You know, the little daycare scam thing that's going on. That's not new. It's just starting to be exposed a little bit. And it's going on not just in Minnesota, it's going on a lot of places. Group homes are the same way. I tell you what I seen happen. You know, the hotel, excuse me, it's not the hotel. You know, the apartment complex that had the people on the elderly people on the rent for a year and then told them after that year that their rent was going to go up. I've seen that a million times. Anybody that's an investor in real estate, they can do that. All you got to do is not have a moral compass. You can get money from the state. You can get money from the city, just like this individual did. And you can put it on a 1-year deal and more like legally, it's legal to get all that money. They'll build it. They'll give you as soon as you fulfill that 1-year promise. It was never about the people. As soon as you fulfill that 1-year promise, you can do what you want to do with it. Day one, after a year, you can sell it. And the city and the state financed it. You can walk away with whatever profits you make on selling that property. They don't have a stake in it. They had faith in you doing the right thing because you put the elderly people in there. You put the poor people. You put the subsidized housing. You put all these things that the city is looking for you to do the right thing for. They think that you're helping the city in good faith. They give you the loan. They back the loan. That's why your city mayor was upset of what happened at that place because they got bamboozled. They got hooked. They got one handed to them. They did. That's why Mayor Abtab was upset at that whole situation. And I feel him on that because they should have done what was right. And I guess they may have fixed it. I don't know. I don't even care. I've been watching this old fake ass take care of the people, vote this way so these people won't take our funding. I've been watching that shit for decades, man. Ever since I could understand it, I've been right there watching it. And I've been watching them pimp the system. And I know there's only, one side always talk about capitalism. The other side talk down on capitalism, but they make money just like capitalists. They just make it a different way. They use most of their funding and most of their salaries come off of taxpayers. And it's a hustle. They never use their own money. They always using somebody else's money. And that's why they're bad managers. They ain't never been through no trenches and never had to do anything. It's always easier. Let's be honest. If you've ever hustled in your life, I'm talking about anything, free money. If you've ever hustled, you ain't never saved a dime in your life. You don't have any more of that hustle money. That hustle money is the worst money that you can learn how to get. And the reason why is because you don't value it. Now, don't get it twisted. People that say don't value money, that's ridiculous. Money is what make us live comfortable. Money is what provides our lifestyles. Money is what you need in order to do the things you want to do. So to say don't value it, like, that's ridiculous. Now, value is that's a strong word. I value money. I don't let money run me. I run money. I always had this philosophy. If you do money bad, it'll do you bad. If you just jack it off and do whatever you want to do, you give it away, go popping bottles and buying expensive cars, doing all this old dumb shit, it'll catch up with you. The only people that do that are people that get fast cash and free money. People that work every day don't do their money like that. They have that same mentality for people that get a bunch of state and government money who run these programs. They do money as bad as the streets do. Because it's free. And if you look at how these companies are managed, I'm talking about these companies that are managed by the government. Let me ask y'all, let me ask y'all a question. I won't say her name, but it's my sister-in-law. One of them. I got a lot. We argued and we argued and we argued. We argued and we argued and we argued for years. Not argued, but we had this disagreement. I got to a point where I was like, girl, you just ain't gonna never get it. You don't understand. And our disagreement was, how does the post office get its money? How do they get their money? Who funds the post office? Somebody put it in the screen for me. I'm going to read a few comments while y'all put that in the screen. Y'all know the government. Post office don't make a dime. Post office is probably one of the most mismanaged companies in the country. You would think that they would make their money off of profit. They get their money, they get their subsidies from the government. And it's one of the most mismanaged companies. It even got to a point where, remember, where people were going postal, people were bringing guns to work and shooting and fighting people. It's just one of the most mismanaged companies in America, just like most of those companies. Now, when I say what I say, y'all know that don't mean 100% everybody, every company. It don't mean that. When I say 501c and nonprofit organizations are scheming and scamming, that don't mean all of them. Okay, we've come to that understanding over the years now, right? But I will say majority of them, and I'll stand on it. Because you might work for one that's doing the right thing. I can show you 10 that's not. So when I speak in the majority. I'm speaking about the majority in this case. So if you work for a nonprofit organization and your person who's putting it together and this and that is a good person and all that, God bless you. I'm glad you're able to work some things out for people. You're probably top heavy too. You might not know it. You might not know the books. But chances are, if you're getting $1 million, if your organization is getting $1 million to provide whatever service it's providing, to be honest with you, you're probably only putting one probably only putting 100,000 to 125,000 into the actual issue. The rest of it is going to be salaries and operation cost. That's just a fact. Show me one of them companies that's putting more money into the problem than they are the actual. It's just like a business. It's just like a person that regular, business that y'all have learned that capitalism is bad and wrong. No. Show me one of these nonprofit organizations that put more money into the problem than they do the company itself. I didn't say they weren't lucrative, Black Lion. I would never argue that. That's 100% on point. He said, Wyatt, what are you talking about? The government is the most lucrative business ever. Absolutely. The biggest pimp of the world is the government. Listen. The government pimp harder than pimps in Chicago. At least the girl or the boy or the man or whoever is doing the hoeing, they get the money first and they take the money to the pimp. You know what I'm saying? Here go that $100, daddy. And the pimp will smack her off $20, $30 or $40 or whatever. Thank you. You know what we got to do. Get your ass on back out there. The government pimp harder than that. You go to work all week, you made $1,000. When you go pick up your check, the pimp already got his. And you ain't got you can't say nothing about what they do with it. He ain't clothing you, he ain't housing you, and he ain't feeding you. The pimp on the street doing all that for the hoe, though. Doing all that for the girl that's working the strip and all that old shit. Feeding them, clothing them, protecting them, and all of that. But your government ain't doing that for you. Not only are they not doing that for you, they're doing it for someone else that's not putting in the same type of work. And you have no say-so. You can't allocate your tax dollars anywhere you want it to go. Once they take their money, they do whatever they want to do with it, and you have no control over it. No control. Hey, quick thing. I want to get on something because I got to go. I have to go. Has anybody seen that Kenyon Martin video? Now, y'all know I'm a UC Bearcat fan. Corey Blunt, Kenyon Martin, all these guys. Damon Flint, Logan, Steve Logan, Helicopter, what was Ruben Patterson. What was what's his name? The Helicopter, Melvin Levitt. I'm them guy. I'm a UC fan from the day. And Kenyon Martin. Well, you know what? It's a hard first and second, but they this close. Kenyon Martin and Nick Van Exel are my favorite UC Bearcats. I love Steve Logan and I love Melvin Levitt, but they're not Nick Van Exel and they're not Kenyon Martin. You know what I'm saying? They're not them. They're not them. Okay, so Jerica said, what kind of effing analogy is that to apply to everyday hard workers? Did I say something wrong? Did I not tell you how it actually works? I mean, I'm an everyday hard worker as well. I pay a lot of taxes. Because you might not have liked my analogy. Did it hurt? Did the truth hurt? That they get the tax we do? I don't know. Sounds right to me. You might not like the street analogy that I put on it, but it's the truth. Tell me where I lied. Let me go to the phone lines real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Here's your boy Twin.
Twin, what's good with you, bro? How you been?
Oh, I couldn't call it. Hey, yeah, I think that was crazy, man. I think they should. You think they should have renovated the Heritage Bank Arena?
For what?
I'm talking about that 8 million they allocating over there for that.
You don't like the
Whatever.
you don't like the 8 million?
Hell no.
Okay, why not?
No, they should have. They should have. They could have bought more, venues and all that to the city of Cincinnati. Like you were screaming about the NCAA tournaments or even a convention or something like that, Democrat or Republican convention to the city or something big
Hmm.
to generate money like that. I would have took it like that, man. And then Stephon was saying how they need beams or something because it floods over there by Pony Island every year. So that'd probably be a waste, man.
Okay, there you go with that probably shit again. Look, man,
Man,
you don't.
man, it's probably a waste. I'm just saying.
All I'm saying to you is you don't think the architectural. You don't.
I
think,
like it how it's set up. I looked at it.
So-
I mean, it's
so-
nice.
so let
But
me-
you sitting only 20,000 people in there.
Okay, so let's break
That's
it
why
down.
I'm looking at that.
Let's break it down. How much do you think it'll cost to redo the Heritage Bank Arena? I mean,
Average probably if they really how many is it?
I don't know.
40,000 maybe.
what? No.
I'm
There's
assuming.
1,000 in there. You're lucky,
Oh, I thought it was bigger than add some
bro.
more
The
seats or
Bengals
something.
Stadium only holds 60.
Well, add some more seats to it. I would have put it in there. It probably cost what, 50 million to renovate it, maybe?
It's probably going to cost way more than that. Okay, first of all, you can't renovate that old ass building. That building has to be torn down. That building is older. That building is older than me. Okay,
Oh.
that building been sitting there since the. Okay,
No.
so first of all, in order for that building to do anything, if you're going to do it properly, you got to tear it down. That's the first thing you got to do. Okay, and I mean you got to repipe it. You got to do everything. That building needs to go away. All right. So now, in its place, you're going to spend easily $300 to $400 million replacing it.
Dang.
You want a stadium, but an indoor stadium, like put a roof on TQL. What is that? TQL? Put a roof
Yeah.
on that and put it down where Heritage is, and now you in business. But look at how much money they spent for that. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
$8 million is nothing of an investment for the return you're going to get on that money. Nothing. I'm telling y'all, it's nothing. There's some people in City Hall that are business-oriented thinking folks that understand exactly what I'm saying. That's why they voted the way they voted. The other ones voted because they wanted to play on that old shit of, well, let's put homeless people. Let's do affordable housing, which is you can't invest in liability in your city. It just doesn't make any sense. Eventually, you have to spend money to make money.
Yeah. So why they not touching that railroad money if they made so much off of it?
Why they what? I heard.
Why they not touching that railroad money?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. That's really not like my thing. I never really followed it when they were running the game of selling it. I've always said my stance on that. Let me start from the beginning, Twin. My stance was I didn't have a problem with them selling the railroad. I don't have a problem selling an asset, but you have to replace it with another asset. Okay, if you're not going to replace it with another asset, then you have to get into something that's an interest drawing. I don't know what they put it in. I don't know what they put it in, but it's in an account drawing interest, and it's a heavy. I'm sure it's an investment account. Okay, but I think what they're doing, to be honest with you, and this is just my opinion, I'm shooting a shot at this one. I think they're living off the interest money, as long as the principal is high. They get more money off of the interest that the principal is drawing, and that interest goes into the general fund. So if they can make $3 $3 million a month, $4 million a month off that money. That money is accumulating and it goes into the general fund, and now they can do some different stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because there's no reason why you shouldn't, other than the fact that maybe it's wintertime. But I've seen streets being worked on in the wintertime. You can cement and pave and fill potholes in the wintertime. I ain't never seen that to be a problem that they couldn't do it. This was not the worst winter in the world up in Cincinnati. Well, how many times did it snow? You know what I'm saying? Where it was a large accumulation of snow. It wasn't that bad. They could have started that. That's why Charlie Lucan said he got duped. He said he got bamboozled, because he said the reason why he pushed and got on the board for the railroad sale and all that, he said the reason why he pushed for it is because the mayor told him and told everybody else, including, Cincinnatians, that the shovels were in the ground. As soon as it get approved and it got sold, they were ready to go to work. Right. And that was a lie. Evidently, it was a lie. I mean, he said it on the radio. I mean, he said it. I mean, he threw the administration under the bus pretty heavy.
Yeah, because they ordered the old trucks and they said they will go around the city and, see what need patched up. And that little AI wannabe generator lied, said that street was fixed. That street was fixed when it wasn't fixed.
Well, maybe so. That could be an error. I mean, if it's a new system, there's a learning curve. There's a lot going on. I'm not big on, like, if administrations mess up because of system problems and stuff like that. I'm pretty lenient when it comes to stuff like that, because there's a learning curve. I allow certain things to happen first that don't work out, and then we got to get it right. But if it's a consistent failure, then I'm pressing on it. Then it's an issue, and I'm gonna press that issue. But it's just starting out, I give it some time.
I guess. Paying all that money, I want it to work. But
so you don't like the $8 million investment that they're making into the venue?
No. They should have did something, man.
They should have did what?
Man, I would have did something different.
Like what?
Probably not. I don't know. Like I said, I would have.
How do you not like something, Twin, and not have an alternate way of doing it? I mean, what would be the better way? What would you do with the $8 million?
I would probably send it to affordable housing, which is really something that's affordable. And I know some things they come up with. I'm trying to real, hey, what's your income like?
Okay,
so they say affordable housing. I don't know what they be saying. They terminology of affordable housing is way different. I can't afford that. I'm on a budget and a fixed income. So quit saying affordable house when I know I can't afford it.
Okay, let me ask
you this. That's how I look at it.
Let me ask you this. I'll throw something in the air. Do you think the city maybe should have spent the $8 million on buying in City West? Those 105 units is going to be.
What city? Where at?
Oh, okay. Remember, City West is getting rid of people down there.
The 200 people or something like that. They said.
105.
Yeah.
And they say,
what happened to that project?
No, it's still in existence. I'm saying, what do you think about them spending the $8 million on the City West project of buying those 108 units? Do you think? I don't know how much it costs, because I was trying to get somebody to actually.
Okay, if they doing all that, it's gonna be affordable. It's gonna be affordable for Twin. That's the question.
Maybe so.
I'm on a fixed income, so when you say affordable housing and all that, and I go up in that federal application, get approved, and I'm like, hey man, I can't do it. Y'all said it's affordable.
Right.
I'm on a fixed income.
Let's say it is. Let's play that.
Okay, then let's go then. Then I know the definition meaning of affordable housing.
Okay.
But they affordable housing, when people say it across the board, is different, man.
Okay. Let's say that $8 million bought those 105 units, and it's affordable housing, it's income-based housing, and it works for you, Twin. That works for you, right?
Yeah, I'm gone.
So that's what you would want the $8 million to go to.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. So now, how does that make money for the city?
It's gonna generate because of the tenants and all that.
No, you're a liability, Twin. You're a liability. Affordable housing is a liability for the city. It's not an asset. It's a liability. It's a cost. It costs them to put you in that affordable housing. It costs them. So how do you get out of a $35 million deficit if you don't invest in your city. Now, don't get it twisted, twin. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be affordable housing. I'm saying that the city has to also make investments within the city. They have to invest the money into things that's going to bring back, that's going to make them money. You can't spend all your money on affordable housing, or, you can't do that. You have to take some of your money and reinvest into the city so it'll draw in a bunch of tax revenue. You see what I'm saying? You have to do that.
8 million up in there, so you guarantee they go bank off that 8 million.
But why would I spend? I'm $35 million in the hole. I have a deficit as a city of $35 million. Why would I try to invest more into a Heritage Bank Arena than my deficit and start from scratch and have to generate $50 million over these years when I can do the same thing by only investing $8 million? Somebody else is managing it, taking care of it, and all I'm doing is collecting revenue on it from a tax base. It's a small investment.
You got that 1.7 billion. Hey, let me borrow this for a minute.
You can't do that, twin. This is the reason, y'all.
Oh, find some investors or something, man. It's ways to get that money back.
You have to be an attraction for an investor. Don't you know? Nobody's lining
Let's
up.
go be an attraction, because I'm about to bring the turn here. I'm about to bring
you don't have that.
What they call it every year, the draft here. Maybe a baseball all-star team.
You know what you call it? You call it the Jazz Festival. That's what you got. The Jazz Festival. That's it. You don't have.
I ain't talking no jazz.
I'm talking from a different aspect of what we're talking about. I'm saying your income-driven, your tax bases that the city has are very limited. Why invest $200 million into a new bank arena or a Heritage Bank Arena when you can put $8 million into this one and $3 into that? And they have to reinvest in the city, twin, for this whole for your city to become vibrant. You can't just have a city full of affordable housing and affordable this and this and that. Someone has to pay for that. So you have to generate a tax base in order for those free things to be paid for. If you don't generate an income and tax base, then all that tax burden falls on your citizens. Your income tax go up, your property tax go up. You create inflation by giving away free shit. I don't think people understand that. You get it?
I get it now. Look,
so even if they took the $8 million and went and bought City West, you got to show me a way how City West now becomes a profitable asset for the city of Cincinnati. It's not. You're paying $400. The unit costs for $1,200 a month. Who picks up the $800 difference?
The government.
Right. You see what I'm saying? That's a liability. They're not making money.
Yeah, I get it. If you say so, though. But why would you say, if you say affordable housing, though, my meaning to that is, what can you afford? How much can you afford? That's how I see it, though. But you said affordable housing, when you know that damn one bedroom is $2,000 and I only get $900 a month. Just say, can you afford this? Just say it like that. But that's how I look at affordable housing.
I agree. Affordable is
because they tricking the people when they say that.
I agree with that. I think there's
that's what I'm saying.
I think affordable housing and market rent housing are two different things.
It is
right. So stop selling. I don't know. I'm a little confused.
That's how I look at affordable housing. Okay, I think I can afford that by my income.
Right.
And then when I get there, just $2,000, and I'm only getting $900. Something wrong here. Just say we got low income affordable housing for y'all. Don't just say affordable. Because when you go up there and ride past and you say affordable housing, let me see how much you see. I'll call, well, we got a nice, renovated, brand new, this and all that. Oh, okay, so what's the price? Well, you come past, what's the price? $2,000. Oh, that's all right. Thank you, though. Come on, man. That's not affordable, man. That's a trick off. You know, trick me, my phone call and get me up there for open house. Come on, man. Don't work like that. So that's how I look at afford. But people need to quit saying that. I can't afford it. I'm on a fixed income.
Right. Well, you need market rent housing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I understand. I get it. But I
That's-
think what we need to get back to is the whole point of what we
So
were
if they
saying.
look at it 8 million and they put it over there by Coney Island, I guess they see something that we don't see. Why?
Yeah, they see a tax base. They see an income.
Yeah.
They see an investment. And I think it's a good investment. And I'll probably never walk in the building. And here and I don't know. Maybe they'll bring somebody in there that I like. Maybe they'll bring a jazz artist or something. And when I'm in town, I'll go. My wife and I'll go. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But it shouldn't be something that you see, not necessarily you, but a lot of people. It shouldn't necessarily be seen as a negative thing. I think it's a great thing and it's a good incentive. It's a good initiative from your city council to invest in the city. But I see that there's some people that look at it a little bit different. Stop, everything might not be for you, but it helps you. See what I'm saying? What if they invested it into a thing and it's strictly country and western? Just because I ain't never going in the building don't mean that it can't benefit me. See it don't mean that. You got some cynical people, like you got people that just want to talk bad about it when in fact it could actually benefit you if it's all rock and roll. If they put a freaking tennis thing up in the middle of the city and it still generates revenue to the city, that helps us all overall. See what I'm saying? So you gotta, just because something's not for you don't mean that it can't help you.
Yeah. I see. Yesterday was a good call with Freaking. When you had him on there yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't call yesterday, bro. That was okay. Yeah.
No, I listened and all that, but I think it was a good call, and you check a Fred on certain situations and certain issues and stuff. When people want to hee-haw, laugh at the next person, and you mention 500 Fortune Club or whatever.
Oh, 500
and he said he worked for one.
Yeah.
And everything, and people laugh and want what 500 club he worked for or whatever.
A 500 Fortune company.
Yeah, 500 Fortune company.
Yeah.
And people laugh. See, I know dude, man, and I had to really, and I talked to him. I'm like, you was such and such and used to be here. He's like, yeah. I said, I remember you, and we, was talking. And, I like testimonies, Wyatt. And I believe in second chance. He paid his debt to society, whatever. He did his time, and now he's been straight for 7 years. And, he's motivation with the youth or whatever he said, so on and so on. Mm-hmm. But people, man, it's a shame, man. You talking about, well, we need to look out for our sisters and all that, and all, but what about brothers too, though? If somebody doing good and got a second chance of life, he ain't out there robbing nobody, shooting nobody, selling dope. When you be uplifting that brother, like, man, I'm glad you're doing good. But people of our own kind always trying to down somebody, man, for no reason. So he should have been out there, and like you said, Wyatt, that swastika, what he saw, he could have ignored it. But when he saw that, and it's his stomping ground out here or whatever, your own community, and you got that swastika, just like them people came out there and linked bikes over them bridges, them Nazis. Them black folks came out, hey, now we ain't about to have that. He felt the same way. And now over there, Cecil Thomas don't even probably live over there. That's straight, the majority of the people over there is black. So if you coming over there and I'm seeing them, I'm like, man, what is they on? That's how he looked at it. Gone with your goof-ass block with that. Nobody trying to hear that. And stuff, oh, you's a nigga, you just, no, move around. Just don't understand, man. And then you got what you call Black Lion and all that talking. Yeah, I'm about to get on his little black ass because he always talking smack. Yeah, but he taking up for the people that which you don't like. You could never be no revolutionary ass brother, man. I've been around too many gangsters, powerful, man, 5-star generals, man. That's black, man. That don't even go with that pink people, all that. They real people out here. That fugazi stuff you be pulling and saying on the chat, man, you not black, man. I ain't never seen no man call himself Black Lion. They'll stand on there and move that crowd around. No, y'all not about to stay over here. I've been around too many generals like that. Why? That know the streets and know what they stands for, man. And you call yourself an African brother, I can't tell, man. I can't tell.
Y'all
The
do
way
all
you
that in
carry
the
yourself
chat.
and talk smack.
Y'all do that in the chat.
No, man, no, regardless of anything, man, you call yourself a brother and all that, African brother with your fists up, no, because any nigga stand on here be like, no, we ain't about to have that in our community. Black cow to the level. Man, it just kills me how people always down and so that brother doing good, man. And everything, people, he is, man, get on with that. You showed that video with Kmart yet?
No, I'm probably gonna have to save that, man, because I got to get out of here, twin. It's my
Damn.
I'm over my time right now. I should have been out of here
my
at 3
bad.
o'clock. No, it's
I
all
thought
good.
you already showed it already.
No, I was going to, and then of course I took the phone call, and I had already set it up. I'll show it. I'll show it tomorrow because it's like 6 minutes long. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you showed it or not.
No, I haven't showed it yet. I'll show it tomorrow.
All right, well, that's all I had to say, man.
All right, brother. I appreciate you coming in, and
yeah, man.
I appreciate you, voicing your opinion and saying, doing whatever how you feel. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to talk to you, brother. All right, man. Talk to you soon, brother. Thanks for engaging.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye. That was Twin. Yeah, I don't look. Twin had a problem with them putting the 8 million into the city, into an investment, being the singing spot. Someone said Cincinnati has too many music venues. I don't know if you can have too many of those type of things, to be honest with you, because I think they do different stuff. For singing, you can bring plays in there. You can bring jazz. You could do a whole lot of different stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not just excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find something here. Yeah, I don't think it's all just singing venues and stuff like that. There's different things you can do. There's conferences and meetings and stuff that you can hold in buildings like that. Company functions. There's a whole lot of different things you can do. Trust me, the people who are putting in the majority of the money, the lion's portion of the money, $8 million is just a drop in the bucket of what they're going to be spending to make that thing happen. I don't think that they're going in there spending millions of dollars because they haven't done their analysis of what they can bring and how much they can make. I don't think they're coming in here spending that kind of money, $30 million to make something happen, and they don't think they're gonna struggle. I don't know if that's a thing. They have to compete against Kentucky. Okay, Kentucky has a couple nice little venues right down on the water, and Cincinnati is going to have to compete with that, because when you spend money over in Kentucky, Cincinnati doesn't get a dime of that money. So yeah, maybe sometimes you have to open up things that are going to counter your op. You're going to be able to snatch some tax base from them. If anybody should be worried, it should be a venue over in Kentucky down, what is that, Newport on the Levee, and those venues down there. They should be the ones that's pretty much going against it, because they're the ones that are going to be hurt. I don't see this investment hurting the city of Cincinnati at all. I think the more you bring to the city, the more you offer out-of-towners and people who may want to come visit your city and do some things. Another thing that hurts when you don't have enough venues, and I know this for a fact, being in promotions and doing boxing and things of that nature, sometimes you don't have enough, because one weekend you might have, one of the hard things, let me just say this, hold on, let me do this right here real fast. One of the tough things about promoting and bringing in fights and things of that nature, or concerts, or whatever you want to use these venues for, scheduling. Scheduling could be a bad thing. Sometimes your schedule has to fit with what the city offers, like the venue. You want to bring it in on April the 1st. The artist is available April the 1st. Okay? But there's something booked at that venue April the 1st. So all the venues on April the 1st are booked up. So now you have the only time that you can use the venue is on April the 10th. Well, now the artist is not available April the 10th. They have another gig. They have you can always use an extra venue or two. I don't think that's like saying we have too many hotels. When you say you have too many venues, that's like saying you have too many hotels. Now, you can say we have too many venues if you have 5 or 6 venues and they're not operating. See what I'm saying? That's like saying we got one stadium down there for the Cincinnati Bengals, but we don't have the Bengals anymore. So the stadium's just sitting there. See what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit that happens in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Oakland Raiders end up leaving. They got this big stadium they didn't spend $150 million on, or I'm sorry, $750 million on, but they don't have a team. And it's just sitting there, sitting dormant. But you can never have too many venues that are generating a tax base. It's just impossible. That's like saying we have too many hotels in downtown Cincinnati. If it wasn't needed, they wouldn't be there. They'll go away. That type of business, that entertainment business, promotions and bringing in concerts and fights and stuff like that, it's a self-check business. Only the strong survive in it. And people that build those venues don't build them unless they already know. They already know they're going to make money. They already know that they have a line of shows or, acts or whatever coming. You see what I'm saying? You gotta, I don't have a negative out view when I see the city and city council of Cincinnati be productive, be proactive and productive like this. An $8 million investment into something like that is minimum. What else can they spend $8 million on that's going to make them money? Think about that. Think about that. We all know that you can buy affordable housing, you can this and this and that, but those are liabilities. They don't make money. I said, where do you spend that's a fraction of the cost. That's a fraction of what it's going to cost for that building to stand, for that building to be there. And now it's an investment. It's an asset. What else can they spend $8 million on in the city of Cincinnati that not only is going to bring money, but it's an attraction to the city? Like, it make people want to come here to do things. It becomes a destination spot. What else? I'm on the side of the people that voted yes. And to be honest with you, I'm going to say it again, and I know it's not favorable. I always think it's some bullshit in the game when I see politicians come to the forefront talking that for the people bullshit, when they know economics come before the people. If the economics aren't right, your people not going to be right. And that's the bottom line. And to say something like, we got to stop taking care, we giving all this money to the rich people. Well, poor people don't pay people. That's all I can tell you. Poor people aren't down there opening up businesses. You're spending the money on poor people so they can live every day. Now, eventually, somebody's going to have to pay for that. If they use $8 million to do affordable housing or whatever you're talking about, or to open up a soup kitchen, that $8 million is gone. It has no sense of getting any return on it. None. So now who's going to make that $8 million back? Do you understand what I'm saying? The $8 million is now going to have to come from the property owners, taxpayers, levies, stuff like that. It's a revolving door of nonsense. And unfortunately, a lot of my people are convinced that the way to do it is to provide all these services and be free and this and this and that. I believe in the services. I grew up on the services, but I believe it's saturated. I believe people understand the game. And when these services are getting 10%, giving 10 to 12% to the cause and keeping 90%, 88% for themselves, y'all looking at the wrong person as being the bad capitalist. That CEO is hustling just as hard as a profitable company CEO and a nonprofit organization CEO could be working and hustling just the same way. They could be making the same amount of money. And for some odd reason, we only see one side, and not me, but some of us only see one of the CEOs as being a dirty, got all the bonuses and ain't paying his people this, ain't paying his people that. And I mean, that's a taught behavior. That's a taught attitude that we have towards sides. You just don't see it that way because one side only talk bad about the other. They don't talk bad about the ones that claiming to be helping people. Do the numbers again. $81,000 a year for a homeless person in New York. Show me how a person that the city is spending $81,000 a year on should be living on the streets. And all I can say to the non-believers, what's that, Jared? He said, wait a minute, you grew up on the services. Yeah. Till I was about 6 or 7 years old. My mom, we lived in public housing. We lived in law homes. Yeah. Yeah, well, you thought I was from the suburbs, right, Jared? You thought I was a what they call them, silver spoon baby? No. Nah. We left law homes. I was about 8 years old. Moved to a little efficiency and over the Palm Room, and then moved out to the Fay Apartments from there. Yeah. The only difference is in Fay Apartments, my mother was on not affordable rent. What do they call it when when you pay a portion of your rent, a portion of your pay 30% of your income? It's subsidized housing, but my mother was a working class person. She worked every day. So she worked for Housing Opportunities Made Equal. Always been a worker. My mother always had a job. I never known my mother not to work. She went to nursing school right out of high school. My mother worked. I've never known my mother to be unemployed, to be honest with you. Then from Housing Opportunities, she started working with the government, working for the government. And that's how I was blessed to be able to see some of the things of the world that I've been able to see. We would never on, Jericho said welfare. I think we were on food stamps when I was a little bitty boy. But once we left Laura Homes, I had never seen food stamps. My mother got food stamps when I was a baby, she said. And that was it. My father was ordered to pay $25 a month for child support, and he never did back then. Sierra said, Wyatt, didn't you say Lincoln used to DJ at the Palm Room while you were trying to sleep as a kid? Yeah. I don't know him personally, and he doesn't know me personally, but I've known of him since I was a little boy, because we used to live in the Palm Room, and it was right above the club that he used to DJ in. He had to be a young man then, like real young, probably in his 20s. I don't know. I don't even remember what he looked like. I just know, the name. He was a big DJ back in the day because he had the good spots. He DJ'd at the best spots in town. That's from my understanding. And then I was in the DJ field, and you get to know the names. Names are familiar with you. Baby Rome and those guys. You get to know those people. Jericho says for housing, it may have been Section 8. I don't think it was Section 8. I think, the Fay Apartments is subsidized housing. It's based on income. If that's what y'all talking about. I was talking about Section 8. My mother had insurance with her job, so we weren't on the medical thing or any of that type of stuff. I kind of remember a lot of that stuff because unfortunately I didn't. This is gonna sound bad on my mom. I'm sorry, Mom. I love you, but I didn't go to the doctor that often. I was in sports a lot, and I was the type of kid that learned how to shake shit off. I didn't have any type of respiratory problems or any, asthma or anything like that. So I didn't go to the doctor a whole lot other than regular physicals to go play sports. Never had much medical problems. So I don't remember going to the ER and stuff like that. None of that. I'm a sports kid, so I always, damn it, you walk it off rub some dirt on it. I was one of those kids. All right, folks, I love you. Don't forget, tomorrow, I'm going to do my best to be here. Tomorrow is our 6th anniversary right here on Wyatt Live. Last year, I brought a cake. I ain't doing none of that. I'm not doing none of that. I'll have a little bit of conversation. I don't know how long I'm going to stay. Not only is tomorrow our anniversary here on Wyatt Live, 6-year anniversary, but Saturday, the 21st, is my wife and I's anniversary, our wedding anniversary. And it's been a lot of years. It's been a lot of years. So I plan on, I'm going to Chicago this weekend and it's like a home away from home. We're going to fly up to Chi and do our normal traditional anniversary dinner at our place that we love to go to. Yeah, we're gonna do the Chicago thing this weekend, and it's not gonna be business. It's gonna be all personal. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow on our 6th anniversary. Peace and love to you all, bro. I appreciate everyone who's here, and I love you all. Peace and love. I'll talk to you tomorrow right here at Wyatt Live at 1:00. Peace.
Talk to me.
This is serious one right here. Shit is real.
Staten Island boys is back.
God damn it.
New York. What the fuck is y'all talking about?
Turn that flame on.
Kneel when you see us, nigga. Let's go. Glass of gin for my jewelers. Too many Rugers, gems is 500 bams. Spam I swam through Bermuda. Switches got muzzles. Soon as rebuttals happen, we guzzle. Then everything gets twisted like a puzzle. Cyber trucks fly up at the Lux, no doubt. News camera sees the moment. That's alligator tucks. I'm comfortable. Said it 2 more times. Use the ducks. Remove yourself quickly. Might flip you in the clubs. 800 troopers. They all in Coopers. Doopy shotguns and gooses. Ice rockin' boosters. Bitches call me Musa. Mansa, you're ruthless. Wow, he got so handsome. His cutie know his future. That's fuchsia. Flexing it. The spectrum with Medusa, Versace jean jacket, interior is blue cup, no hookah, only big bags eating grouper, scavengers running, tell your managers the woo coming.
Bandanas, mad scanners, chain swinging, pulsating, plug click, niggas do damage, plus niggas got them semi-autos when we out in Yemen, buried all over the desert, baby Mac 11s, clap rappers, grab a big bag on the crap 7s, past present, I'll be GO18 till I crash heaven, monstrous bankrolls, medallions and pesos, I send a few of you back to the essence and have a great show. My wrist game, shootouts on the burgundy swing with gold handlebars. Clark's on flying through the Autobahn. The old deuce flick been plastered inside an Audemars. Catch a photo from the side like Hitchcock. The commas on the side of my neck, it's all big rock. When I'm holding nothing moving, all gridlock. You wake, I might show up for Dolo with a big lock.
I've been official, but y'all don't think it's beneficial because my bottom line don't benefit you. The mission was a missile, I'm fitting to send you a missile. That's fitting to hit your fitted, that crown ain't fitting to fit you. Tripping, I'm fitting to trip you. Short vacation, I trip you. It's simple and that go triple for anybody that's with you. If people know you ready, already know it's an issue. You found out it's official, them people blowing them whistles. A ref's not a reference when people going against you. Your press is not impressive, them people pressing the bench. Effort, I'm mental, this method is not medicinal. In fact, the earth I'm water and air and fire, I'm elemental. That's right, I said it, now give me credit with my credentials. And instrumental with fear of God for my essentials. You get it? Plus a New York fitted to guard the temple. Them tracks you bumping, I come with something to pop your pimple. Guessing I'm proactive, too prolific for all you pro rappers who can't find an angle or protractor. They non-factors, haters, just agitators. These bars might take a shot and don't need a chaser to catch ya. Till Peter pay up, it's vital that Peter pay us. In order to get my cake up, I need a baker for rapture.
But still, how will I find them, though?
There is a man who can help you. They know that he's got the money, and there's enough there to make them rich for life.